You're good.
And we're live.
Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football.
Sir.
We're back. We're back for more.
Do we call this football? Is that what they're calling this still?
Not as entertaining as some of the other games that are on today. And this got flexed into this spot too. It got flexed into it. Two teams in contention. Honestly, the Giants probably win the NFC still. I don't even know, man.
I don't either. It's
I don't know.
we talked a little bit before we went live here. Man, that Eagles game really took it out of me down to the last second, which was exciting as all hell because we haven't seen that in a long time. But to go from that game to then watching this Browns and Giants game, it's you're sitting there kind of wanting for more.
A little bit deflating. You go from Chiefs Saints. There's a lot on the line in that game in terms of seeding. I mean, the Saints, I guess, are still in contention for a 1 seed no longer. I mean, they had to worry about losing the 2 seed to a certain extent if they rattled off a loss today and maybe another loss in the coming weeks. But the Rams lost to the Jets today. How about that? That's crazy. We'll get a second half play up in here, and then we'll kind of talk about the day that was. I haven't even had much time to look at Week 16 spreads yet. I don't know if you have, but we'll kind of kick that around and see if there's anything there. There's a Christmas Day game, so let's first and foremost pull up if we have a second half angle. I dabbled with Giants +7, and I think we were talking about that on the live stream last night. I waited for the +7. I got the +7. I don't know that +7 is going to win, but
no, I don't know because I got in on +6 right before the game to try and make it interesting, and now that looks like it's going to be in jeopardy as well.
We'll see. Second half. This is Bookmaker. We'll pull up FanDuel to over under 23. Browns favored by 1.5 in the second half. They're currently up 13-3 because Parkey doinked another one. And
another
that's got to be mental, and that guy probably shouldn't be in the National Football League. Over under 23.
If he got a nickel for every time he hit an upright, he'd at least have $5.
He's overpaid as is, but he'd have some more money.
Yeah, seriously.
He has a leg, I guess, at times. But can you imagine trusting this guy in the playoffs? I mean, the Browns are going to be in the playoffs if they win tonight. That basically locks it up. If they are to blow it, then things can get a little bit interesting with that AFC that has a lot of good records, unlike the NFC. But can you trust that guy going out round one?
Yeah, I could trust him to hit another post in the playoffs too. Yeah.
I mean, the other team can trust him 100%.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, his team can.
I mean, 100% for the other team. I lean under with the 23. I think the Browns are going to come out and just grind this thing. They've got the running backs to grind it. The Giants are going to do what they can. We can take a look at a Giants team total also. I'm pulling up FanDuel here, see if I can get this to load. I assume Giants team total is going to be 9.5, 10.5.
So I'm on Bovada right now, and they're at 12.5, which.
Oh, really? I mean,
I got burned on a play at the end of the Eagles game, and I don't know. I think you play the under on that one right there on that team total.
I think you do. Bovada has 38.5 for the game, which is 16 right now. So we're looking at 22.5. I would say find a 23 and bet the under. That's what I'm going to do right here. So what's the over under?
Bovada has 23 as the over under for the second half. I'm with you on that. I like that.
I mean, don't overthink it, right? Lately, we've not been overthinking it. We've had some success.
Yeah, we've seen 16 points in the first half. We've seen two tems that are just
there.
They showed up. Here they are. I couldn't imagine not going for an under right now. This is an under type of game, and both of us hate betting unders, but
we hate betting unders.
The writing's on the wall for this one. It's kind of a no-brainer.
We hate it. The only under I had today was Washington team total under, and I ended up sweating that out. They had 0 points right before halftime. I was like, this might be the easiest bet that I've had all year. I almost fucking jinxed that one.
So I didn't sweat. I took that with you yesterday when we were together, but I didn't sweat it out because I wasn't able to watch the game, and I came back and just saw a win. I was like, gravy to me. So that's kind of one of those nice bets that it's always nice to not have to sweat it out and then come back see a winner. Knowing that you had to sweat it out, I apologize, but thank you for doing that for me.
Hey, sometimes sweating it out is fun. Like sweating out Seahawks with the T, sweating out Washington with the team total, a couple other games too. Titans team total over got home. Credit to Yanni on that one because that was a Yanni bet. San Fran didn't hit. Whatever. I mean, the NFC East, it's hard to handicap these teams. Who knows? The Dallas Cowboys can take down this division still.
Yeah, I guess so.
And
I mean, anyone really good.
Yeah, like you won't know it by watching this game tonight, but both of these teams have everything to play for. The Giants have everything to play for. If they run the table, end up 8-8, they're getting in the playoffs. They're hosting a first-round home game, probably against Tampa Bay, which had to labor to a win today. Mm-hmm. They got home in a couple teases. I was hesitant to put them in teases. I put them in at like 12:45 because I was talking to our friend Franz. And he was like, yeah, I've got Tampa and Seattle. I was like, I don't want to touch Tampa, but I'm going to. And they got there, but they barely got there. So
I'm with you. All of my teasers that went in today, I think it was 12:47 a.m. It took me a while. I got it in there. I got a couple little hits off of a few random Eagles bets and some first half team total overs. I've been liking those lately. The team total overs, first half, second half. You get
not a bad angle.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you get to see the result of your bet at the half instead of waiting till the end of the game and sweating it out as long. Yeah. And then you can make a decision for the second half, which makes it, interesting.
Definitely. I like those angles. There were a couple angles that people probably took today. Like I saw a lot of Ravens first half, which I didn't take. I honestly ran out of time, and I had so many bets that I said, I need to go work out the hangover that I had a little bit from last night's festivities.
Sweat it out a little bit.
Stop betting and just let it go. But Ravens first half worked out for people. And then we've got this game. Second half, we'll do under. Do you want to talk about anything else? Any other shockers? The easy thing to talk about, I know, is Jalen Hurts coming back in that in that Eagles game.
It was an enthusing game. I mean, we lost, but we see good things with Jalen. I mean, he really did bring it down to the last second there. It was I really felt like we had a chance, and I haven't felt like that in a very long time. So that's good to see. I mean, other than that, football today, I've been in and out. I was I've had some things to do, but we're preparing for Christmas and whatnot. But
Christmas is here.
Can you believe it? We've 3 days, and then it's another holiday here. It just none of it feels the same with this COVID stuff going on still.
It's felt a little bit better in recent days, seeing some more people, which may or may not be against restrictions, but whatever. Just small groups, everything like that. And then we have Christmas Day. We have a game going on. We've got the Saints who lost their second consecutive game today. They're likely going to get the 2 seed. They're a 7-point favorite right now for the most part against Minnesota. I think that's a very interesting game. I haven't done anything with that as of yet. I've barely looked at spreads. I have them up on my other screen here, but I'd say common sense would tell me tease that one down. Minnesota can be frisky. Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Did you see Justin Jefferson? I don't know if you either saw it or if I sent that clip. He was like yelling F-bombs at Kirk. Kirk threw a terrible ball at him, and that's the Vikings for you. They're basically out of it. Mm-hmm. Vikings are basically out of it at 6-8 now. Captain Mitch Trubisky is leading his team on a little bit of a surge, but he didn't get any help from Tampa or Arizona losing, but the Bears are still there.
Speak about Tampa. How about Atlanta pulling a full-on Dirty Bird Falcons and going up big and then losing it?
Yep, that's what they do. Covered the spread, but they went up big and then blew it. That's what they do. That's probably what they're going to do next weekend too. Like I'm sure that they're going to do that. So so they have Kansas City next week. Kansas City, and they're an 11-point dog. Kansas City leaves teams in. Like they don't entirely put teams away. Kansas City failed to cover, depending on the spread that you had today. Kansas City failed to cover another one. Mm-hmm. But that's just kind of what they do. Win games, and those spreads might be a little bit large. 11's another large spread.
Kansas City, I'm with you on that. I don't feel comfortable betting big spreads on Kansas City. Like you said, I think they win the games. 90 to 95% of them, they're going to win them. But I never have confidence pregame that they're going to come in and be like, yeah, I'm going to firmly win this game. It's always like, we'll stick with them and then we'll fuck them up later when we have to. if we need to show them who's boss, we will.
Exactly. It's 11 points right now. It'll probably trickle to like 12 and a half, and then it'll be 12 and a half, and they'll end up winning 31-20 and not cover the spread again, unless you bet it right now. I haven't done anything with that. The Rams, of all teams, lost to the Jets. The Jets probably losing Trevor Lawrence now. Jacksonville is probably going to get Trevor Lawrence. I regarded the Rams as one of the best teams in the NFL. And I guess they just didn't get up for this game today.
I mean, the Jets do this to one team a year. And really any terrible team will do this to one team a year, right? But
they'll get a win.
Just sucks that it kind of it really screws up the Trevor Lawrence thing.
Yeah.
Good thing for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I feel like Jacksonville is a better place to be as a person, as a young rookie. I mean, the Jets, unfortunately, we all know what they're going to do with talent consistently year over year. It just gets burnt there. So good for Trevor, but not for the Jets.
You would think that being in a major market would be attractive, but until the Jets can get all of their ducks in a row and get their shit together entirely, it's probably not that attractive. And Jacksonville might be moving out of Jacksonville in the next 5 years. Like, they might end up somewhere else in the country. They might end up playing like half their games in London or like half the games elsewhere. Like they'll get that team, I think, to a better city at some point. I think that by 2025, Jacksonville is going to have a different type of look, and maybe Lawrence can be that look, and he can be the guy that's just, banging everything in London.
I think they call it shagging over there.
Shagging in London. The Jacksonville Shaggers. But the Rams are
Shagwires. Oh, fuck yeah.
Shagwars. There you go. The Rams are now underdog next week against Seattle, up in Seattle, 2.5-point underdogs. I feel like this NFC West, we just keep going around in circles, and it's like someone's coming off of a loss and they're 2.5 3-point underdogs. And I feel like a lot of times the better team ends up being the underdog and they win the game outright. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams win this game outright. Seattle didn't impress me today. Almost blew it. To be honest with you, they almost blew it against Dwayne Haskins. So.
I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, and I'm way out of contention in my fantasy league, and as we've talked before, it doesn't hold much value other than bragging rights with me and some of my closest friends since high school, which is important to me. I mean, 18.
Sometimes it's more than money. Yeah.
I'm the commissioner of this league, and I have it set up so that if they fart in the right direction, you get 35 points as a quarterback.
There you go.
Russell puts up 18, almost blows it. But you know what? That's the NFL getting close to playoff time. This is always the time, especially if you're in the fantasy world, where like all of your dependable guys for the season kind of throw a stinker up every now and then.
So what happens? You've got some colder weather games. Sometimes rest comes into play. You've got all sorts of things to contend with. So
I have to give myself a little bit of props here. I did take the Jets in one of my pick pools that I had this week.
Did you?
Just thinking that this felt like a weekend where the Jets want to really screw themselves.
17.5 is a lot of points.
That was a huge number. I mean,
that's a huge number. And I know they're the Jets.
Yeah,
they almost beat the Raiders the other week. I mean, they're moving the ball at times. And
I mean, statistically speaking, and I have not run the numbers by any means, but 17.5 can't hit that often.
That's a lot of points, and it's hard to go 0-16. Like usually a team stumbles into a win, and they probably threw away their stumble into a win a couple weeks ago, and that's why people are like they're going to go 0-16 because that was their window, and then they blew it against the Raiders. But here we go. Jared Goff couldn't get it done, and that's a problem with Jared Goff.
Not sold on him still.
No, you can't be sold on him, and you can't be sold on Jared Goff. And say that they go now and don't win that division. They go on the road first round. Say that they go into a cold weather game. Say that it's them going into New York. I mean, I know that the Giants aren't impressing us right here, but if you got a weather game, if you got a cold game, 22 degrees, 25 degrees, I don't trust Jared Goff against a decent, stout defense. I mean, the Giants aren't the best defense in the NFL, but I regard them as a top third, top 12, sometimes top 10. They
usually can play football for sure.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be the way that they would get back in this game here tonight. If they do, they need to generate a turnover and somehow get it to 13-10 and pray to Jesus that they end up winning.
Yeah, would love to cover that.
2017. Yeah, 6, 7 for me. So let's get that under 23.
It looks like
they're speed through.
They're coming back from the half, but do you have any any early thoughts on tomorrow night's game?
Tomorrow night, Steelers, I have them at minus 12.5. What is it now? Because
that's a good question. I'm just looking at the actual breakdown of the game here.
Allen of the Bengals, what is it? Kyle Allen used to be on the Panthers. He's not playing. So they're going with Finley, who Finley is honestly probably on the level of Ben DiNucci. I think this is Bengals team total under tomorrow night. I have 13.5, so I have 13.5. So I do have two bets tomorrow. I've got Steelers cover 12.5. It's now 14.5 at FanDuel.
Yep.
So if you missed that, I don't think it's going back below 14. But I think the Steelers win this game 27-3, 30-3, 27-10, something like that. The safest bet, I honestly think, is Bengals team total under. You're not going to get
under right now 13.5 on both.
13.5. You're probably not going to find any 14s. I think they're going to struggle to get there. The only way would be if their defense gets lucky and scoops up a fumble. Like it's just not going to happen. That's the play. Similar to what I did today with Washington. 13.5 is a very low total. Like that's about as low as you're going to get. But sometimes these teams are just anemic and they can't do anything. And that's the play there. I think
especially the Steelers defense and the fact that they'll literally run them into the ground. I mean, they're running game. They'll just we'll see those quick quarters again because it's going to be running clock the entire time and just Steelers ground and pound there.
It could be a quick game, similar to like this second half. The Browns are just grinding it out. A quick game, Steelers grind it out. They're coming off a full week of rest, a normal week of rest for the first time in God knows how long. Like they are playing Wednesday games, Monday games, Tuesday games because of COVID and everything. Finally, a full week of rest. They know that they got to get it together.
Yeah,
they're not going to do anything fancy because it's the Bengals. Like they're not going to open up the kitchen sink. It's not like they're on the cusp of the 1 seed because Kansas City basically has that unless they stumble. But they want to get back right. And Steelers don't count them out yet because they do have that stout defense and their offense can't get much worse than what it's been in the past month. So they'll piece that together. And this is a good way to, try some things, just get right, if nothing else. So
I agree.
All right, let's get this under.
Yeah, let's do it. It's looking good so far. We're 3 minutes, almost 3 minutes in, not even close, actually 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, and nothing happening. So we're good.
Just speed through. I'm going to go downstairs, pour out some eggnog that I had left over from last night. I hope that by the time I sit down, it's like 3 minutes left in the quarter and there's no scoring. just breeze through it.
Yep. Just keep that clock running, fellas.
Breeze through it. Solid weekend of live streams. Good stuff, Dutch. We'll do some more podcasts this week, live streams. There's Christmas Day. I don't know what we're doing with that, but we'll get the usual stuff up. And we're trying to piece together a Wentz versus Hurts podcast. I'm going to try to get that together either tomorrow or Tuesday evening because I think that'll be very nice. And I'll get some Eagles fans because we have plenty of those to talk to and opine on the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
definitely.
Happy holidays to everyone that is paying attention, listening, who listens to this week at some point, and to you and the missus.
You and your beautiful family, yeah, and all the animals over here. So
yes, sir. Yeah, that's true. The zoo, if you will.
The zoo behind me. All right, Dutch.
All right, my man. It's been a pleasure.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.